Hello, whoever finds this stream later down the road, whoever's watching right now. Hope you're having a good night, a good day, whatever it is. I mean, whatever time of day it is where you are. And it looks like Carrie is here. Hey, Carrie. Oh, that's interesting. So I tried putting this up both on YouTube and over on the NUELOW Games Facebook page, and it looks like it is indeed running both places, and I'm responding both places because I said hi, Carrie, on in StreamYards, and it replied both. It replied twice, basically. I'm seeing my own words twice. Well, maybe that means that people who are seeing this over on Facebook can actually, I can see their comments. I mean, that would be nice. Hey, Surrender Monkey, welcome, welcome. As always, I'm futzing around with the features and not quite pulling it off right. But well, we'll see. Maybe I'm pulling it off right. Actually, I'm going to, pardon me a second, ladies and gentlemen, while I check something out. See what is showing up over on Facebook. Well, there's one that is locked. Well, let's unlock it and see what happens. And let me see what's going on over at the NUELOW Games page, because this is very surprising to me that I'm seeing myself comment twice. Yeah, okay, so I'm commenting over there and here both. So, hi, if anyone is watching on Facebook, welcome. I don't know if I can see you comment or not. But if you make a comment, hopefully it'll show up and I'll be able to tell the difference between YouTube and Facebook. Time will tell. Things are getting weird and stupid. When have they ever not been? I guess I'll need to know what things you're referring to exactly. Hey, Cap. Hey, Carrie. I mean, weird and stupid, that basically pretty much describes these streams that I do all around, I would think. Although hopefully this won't be weird or stupid, just be a little bit dorky and self-promotional, since I am want to talk about Blue Beetle, specifically the second incarnation of Blue Beetle, since we are finishing up not my streams. Okay, well, fine, Surrender Monkey, hurt my feelings, see if I care. Is this more anti-frauditor versus pro-frauditor versus coded versus WNN nonsense that's going on? Because yeah, I've seen a tiny bit of that, missed most of it because don't care. I mean, my biggest fan is front and center to all that stuff, so I suppose I should care a tiny bit, but basically I don't care. Anyhow, second Blue Beetle book is 99% done, which probably means it's only 90% done, because we'll always find something at the last minute to change. Why on earth would you guys be banned over on WNN? I don't understand. Well, I'll watch the side chat. Maybe I'll figure it out based on your conversations. And I'll go through this Blue Beetle stuff really fast, and we get onto the drama. So I need to be read in, obviously, because I don't know what it is. Anyhow, there's a Blue Beetle movie coming out in August. So this month on the 18th, I believe I think the U.S. release date is the 16th, and the international release date is the 18th. That Blue Beetle is in fact based on the second DC Comics incarnation of Blue Beetle, maybe third, but at least second. But prior to that, there were three different Blue Beetles. First Blue Beetle we had in the NUELOW Games book that released last month. The second, and that's Stan Garrett, rookie cop, superhero rookie cop during the day, superhero at night. The second Blue Beetle is the one that the second book covers. Shocking, the second book covers the second Blue Beetle. And this guy is powered by a magic artifact that he gets from an eternally living pharaoh to battle a giant mummy and then later save the world. One thing I found very interesting as I was editing this book, which involved rewriting some pages, cleaning up the art. They're doing the sort of thing that we do, except we did a lot more re-editing some pages on this one than we typically do, because there were some serious plot flaws and just things that didn't go anywhere, and we figured we would edit those out since we're doing the reprint anyway. And so I revised stories a tiny bit. So in one case, 2 pages became 1. In another case, 5 pages became 3. Oh, Liz, welcome back, or welcome. I saw you here the other night when I wasn't able to comment on the chat because, well, I was driving and I could barely see. I could see who was commenting. It was large enough, but I couldn't see what you guys were saying. So hopefully you all had a good conversation. But at any rate, let me actually move this over. I can see it better. One of the things I found particularly appealing about the artwork for the second Blue Beetle was the fact that he seems super awkward, and the way he's drawn when he's flying, because this incarnation of the Blue Beetle can fly, he can shoot laser beams from his eyes, he has super strength. Basically, he does whatever the plot needs him to do. But when he's flying, more often than not, the artists draw him really in a real awkward fashion. And I just kind of found that appealing because you're a guy, you get superpowers, and you can suddenly fly, but I don't know that you would be kind of the graceful Superman-y kind of flyer, but rather someone that is extremely clumsy. And so I'm just going to throw a couple of pages up there and see what I mean about him looking clumsy when he's flying. See if you guys agree or disagree if you want. Let's see. We'll put this up. Just I'll put that up. I'll put up a link on occasion during the stream, so if anybody wants to come up. That may well have been, but of course, the fifth Beetle is the really tragic story there. How the poor guy gets completely ignored. I'll have to talk about that on the stream one of these nights too. because I put up one of the very few pictures that exist of him over on the Shades of Grey blog. So, but yeah, that beetle, that poor beetle. Nigel Netherthong, I believe, if I recall correctly. I think that was his name, Nigel Netherthong, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Hey, ZXL, welcome. Let me get those Blue Beetle pages up there so I can talk about the awkwardness of his flight. Or not. All right, there we go. Okay, I think I want to do another pass on this particular page as far as cleaning it up. Now that I'm looking at it, let's move that over, or let's not, because it won't let me. There we go. All right. So let's zoom in a bit. Will let me zoom in? There we go. So, you know, there he is kind of shooting laser beams out of his hands, and then over here he's shooting beams out of his eyes. But here he is flying. Just the way he holds his hands and his arms. Oh, let me hide the lizard monkeys. Lizard monkey. You're not a lizard monkey. You're a surrender monkey. If I can find him, there he is. Hide. And, oh, I shared the entire screen. Oh well. So yeah, he just looks awkward the way he flies. Actually, here the body's kind of weirdly twisted. Again, the hands are positioned all strangely. It just looks unnatural. Like I said, a guy that doesn't fly is now suddenly flying. And to me, that sounds. I mean, that seems reasonable. Though here he is. There he is. Look, he's flying. He's looking good flying. Happens every so often that he actually gets it right. And right back to looking super awkward. Can I zoom in more? Yes, I can. Super awkward and happy with himself. Unfortunately, as how it often happens when I'm trying to get these things ready, I run out of time. And the pages where it looks extremely super awkward that I wanted to do, I left them on my other computer so I don't have them to look at, because I am such a professional YouTuber that I screw up when I'm pulling pages to show. But once again here, he just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing when he's flying. Legs are weirdly bent. His hands again are strange. Here he comes down trying to punch a guy and looks kind of, again, just oddly positioned. Oh, well, yeah, that guy is indeed a right-wing fucktard, and he dies on the next page. Well, I think I talked about him the day that I was actually fixing that part of the story, where this is a major bad guy in the early parts of the story, and then he just disappears from the plot. So we rewrote a couple of pages to explain what happens to him. But yeah, he's not awkward at all. He's just standing with his. I don't know if he's a right-wing fucktard, since he's a Middle Eastern revolutionary, or a guy that's starting a civil war in the Middle East. A lot of those guys tended to be left-wing fucktards. Possibly. He is a beetle. But I not noticed that the arms were that badly disjointed. But yeah, of course, being me, I had not gotten my favorite panel pulled, and it's that page is kind of among the 80 or so I still have yet to place in the book. So I don't know that I can find it easily. Well, here's actually one. I think this is another one where he's just looking just weird, the way he's positioned. Not as bad, though, as some of them. Oh, yeah, and this art is, oh my God, Bill Fraccio and Tony Tallarico, I want to say, who did the art. Here, that's just their last names in the credit, so I can't remember. But they did all the art in this book. Let's see, their full names are over here, maybe. Yeah, I got it right. Bill Fraccio, and Tony Tallarico. And then Joe Gill wrote 3 of the 4 stories. And Roy Thomas wrote the last one. If it's the famous Roy Thomas, I'm not sure if it is or not, because there were 2 Roy Thomases writing at the time. Blue Beetle always bugs people. That's what he does. Last panel on the Nazi one. Oh, whoops! I'm in the wrong section now. Oh, this guy. Well, that arm is badly drawn. Maybe that's what you're referring to. Or this. Well, one thing I did find, and I found a reference to this again, was that allegedly Charlton, the publishers, yeah, I see what you mean. They either their printer or the publishing agency itself served as a one of the lawful fronts. Yeah, and I see this here. I'd better have a talk with Amenhotep right now. Yeah, that actually, when I first caught that, when I was editing this, it didn't connect that this evil general is named Amenhotep. I thought it was Blue Beetle's unnamed immortal Pharaoh champion, but he does not have a name. Amenhotep is actually this guy. He's supposedly a descendant of the Pharaoh. Now he wants to reconquer the world. But he's a loser, and so the giant mummy squishes him, at least in our rewritten version. Because as I said, he just drops out of the plot, vanishes. After this page, he just disappears. All right, well, so anyhow, that's basically one of the things that appealed to me about this incarnation of Blue Beetle was just the fact that there are so many panels where he looks so awkward while he's flying that I just find it charming. But of course, his powers are straight up Deus Ex Machina. It's whatever he needs. That's what he can do. Including somehow flying hundreds of light years in the space of seconds so he can deposit a story's villain back on said villain's home planet. Well, I guess, did you wake up sober or did you not go to bed and you just stay drunk? All right, well, so that's basically it. What I had about the Blue Beetle. As I said, the target is to have the book out next week. Just in time for the release of the Blue Beetle movie to see whether it'll be a success or another bomb for Warner Brothers in the superhero arena. It seems like only the Batman films are successful, or so it seems to me. I haven't Haven't been following that closely, but at least according to what I'm picking up through the news, it seems that way. But you know, maybe this one will do well for him. Hopefully, because we have the third Blue Beetle book coming out in September. So, again, these Blue Beetles have next to nothing to do with the DC Comics Blue Beetle. And I've already gotten a couple of inquiries about that. You know, am I afraid I'm going to get sued? How can I use Blue Beetle? It's trademarked to DC Comics. Yes. Blue Beetle is trademarked to DC Comics and Warner Brothers. And I would be in big trouble if I was trying to create brand confusion, but I'm not. These Blue Beetles do not get their powers from an ancient alien artifact. They are not a Hispanic teenager that gets a robot suit from his enchanted or his alien technological beetle tchotchke. These guys get their powers either from a liquid concoction plus magic armor, or from a artifact granted to them by an immortal Pharaoh, or from weird tech that they themselves have invented, which is a third Blue Beetle, which is the one that DC Comics is based on. It's the one, or the original one it was based on. It's one I'll be closest to being, you know, perhaps getting NUELOW Games in trouble. But again, we have a basic idea of what we're doing. I like to think we can go up to the line and not get in trouble. Plus, we sell dozens of copies, literally. So even if somebody at Warner were to look at it, they'd go, oh, well, it's not even worth going after these guys. But again, now I'm just joking, because we are working with material that is in the public domain for a couple different reasons. We are not using titles that would create trademark confusion. Here, I'll put up the cover. Well, we have, as usual, we have two different drafts of covers, and I've decided that we're going to go with this one. But, you know, you guys tell me whether you think this cover is awful or whether you think it's okay. If you think it's awful, then maybe I'll go with Plan B. Since I have a small focus group here of people that may or may not read comics. Probably not. Yeah, Surrender Monkey, Blue Beetle. I'm not surprised you haven't heard of him. Let's see here if I can make this work. There we go. There. That's the cover for the second Blue Beetle book right there. It's again, it was originally a Charlton cover. Charlton was a publisher of this incarnation of Blue Beetle. We redesigned the logo somewhat. As far as I know, it doesn't bear any resemblance to the current DC one. So it should be fine. The Blue Beetle, the tick is not the Blue Beetle. The tick is very different. And the tick is definitely not one that we can play with because it's not in the public domain. But yeah, this one we could, you know, credit the contributors on the cover. But yeah, sorry, I don't know if you haven't heard of the Blue Beetle, because the last time I think that the character had any kind of prominence was in the 80s, shortly after, in the 80s into the mid 90s. Warner Brothers acquired the character from Charlton as they were going out of business. Kind of the same way Charlton acquired the character from Fox Publishing as they went out of business for the second time, and the way Holyoke acquired the character from Fox when they went out of business the first time, and so on and so forth. But yeah, he's actually a superhero character that's had quite a bit of longevity. He's been around in different incarnations since the late, since the 1940, and but anyhow, yeah, we do. Well, none of the characters that you'll find NUELOW Games publishing are currently extremely well known. We did the Peacemaker. He had a TV show, and we're still gonna do a second Peacemaker book. Blue Beetle we had on the back burner for a number of years, mostly because we had a soft spot for the second version and the third version, and with the movie that became an excuse to actually finish those projects. But generally, the comics we do, they're super obscure. No one's heard of them or read them for 50 years or longer, and we put them out there because we think they deserve to be known again. But Blue Beetle was already relatively known through DC, so it was always kind of down on the list of things we're going to do. There's still about 40 characters that we have ideas for projects for. And yeah, that actually, again, that's another one of those he's looking really awkward when he's trying to fly moments, Carrie. And what is this? I see side chat here. So cool seeing your name in print. Yeah, well, used to be on covers that actually had hard copies and were printed, thousands of copies and sold thousands of copies instead of the dozens that I do now. And yes, my name's on the cover because, well, gosh, I put it on the cover. I did not put Hundal's name there because she didn't think she contributed enough to the book to deserve cover credit, and so I left her out. Everybody else's name got a little bigger, but the important names are Joe Gill, Bill Fraccio, however that's pronounced, and Tony Tallarico. They were the main creators on the book. I did the game content and kind of a little bit of the bridging material, and like I said, rewrote some of the pages and re-edited them. But those guys, oh yeah, and Roy Thomas, of course, they did the majority of the work. But Joe Gill, Bill Fraccio, and Tony Tallarico, they did. They're the creators. Let's see. You would edit it so my name blurred out all the others. Yeah, on most of these, we don't actually put our names on the covers. We put the primary creators on the cover. But I figured, what the hell? Why not? No, he has a neck. His arms are raised in this particular case. And actually, don't like looking at this cover. I'm also trying. I don't think it's might be Fraccio penciling, but it looks like like so many other of these Charlton covers from this period. Dick Giordano is probably the inker on this. That would be my guess, looking at this, looking at the line work. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But anyhow, just a quick little look at Blue Beetle, the second Blue Beetle book from NUELOW Games. Yeah. I think it's more of a look at me. I'm getting shot with a laser beam while flying poorly pose. But yeah, that's one of the villains he fights in this book. Guy that goes into outer space, comes back and he's driven mad. Then he fights a dorky professor and his robot. He fights a giant mummy. Fights an alien from another planet that wants to prevent humanity from inventing space travel. And then he fights the Eye of Horus at the end of the book. So those are all of his. Well, then of course, yeah, there's the fat general Amenhotep. But yeah, and the guy goes from being an archaeologist to a aeronautical engineer, with a sideline in robotics. So Dan Garrett is something of a multidisciplinary scholar and genius. Anyhow, let me do this again in case somebody wants to come up. And because yeah, that's all I had, folks. Although I see somebody gave this a like over on Facebook. So let me look at Facebook again. And there's the link if somebody wants to come up and say hi to the assemblage and tell me about this drama. Tell me about who's been banned from WNN and why. Or just tell me about what you had for lunch. And everybody that's currently watching, either here or on Facebook. Hi, anybody who's over on Facebook. If you've commented, I've missed your comment or it hasn't come through, so I'm going to try to go over to Facebook and take a look and see what's going on there. Let's see. Stop sharing. Close that, close that. Oh, I found something new to show on Sunday mornings, by the way. I'm still checking on copyright, but some of them are definitely in public domain. Others I can't quite get my arms around. Let's see, there it is. Oh, well, yeah. Somebody liked the stream but didn't comment. Okay, well, thank you for watching, whoever you were. I appreciate it. Let me get this fixed. You need a better mantra. Stop sharing kind of sucks. Well, as catchphrases go, it's, I don't know, I think it's better than yeet 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 or what's up, playboys. Oh, I know what. Here's one thing I could look into. I only saw bits and pieces of it. So I couldn't really say. One bit I saw got me kind of irritated uh, because it sounds like Chilito is trying to once again walk somebody down a very bad path. That Dragonette girl, yeah, I don't know much about her. And then I saw a tiny bit of, and also that irritated me even more. Um, Chilito's interview with Dollarhide and his wife, and the talk about them losing their child. Um, I thought it kind of reprehensible that he put stuff out about completely people unrelated to any of the stuff that's going on, other than uh, Dollarhide appears to have run in, had a traffic run in with one of them, and then not stayed for the police to show up. So yeah, Mr. DeCastro seems like he's being a complete and utter scumbag. That's my reaction to the coverage today. What I saw of it, that he is a vile human being. He's only getting more vile, and anyone that uh, follows his advice or guidance are going to get themselves into a lot of trouble. Um, Other than that, I don't think I really saw much. Was there anything better than anything cheerful that came out of it? I guess I should say that, because everything I saw just pissed me off. And here we go. I liked it, Cap. Um, Let me see if I have anything constructive to say. No, no. Made me smile at times. I kind of like the entertaining way you dealt with the lab. Uh, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a nice fast 20 minutes or so. I think you did a great job. Although, I know you why you had the actor that played Joe Friday as Joe Friday, but was that the same voice? Did the voice actor on the radio show do the voice? I mean, was he the same guy? Um, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I'm just asking whether you know, because it seemed a little less flat and deadpan than my recollection of Joe Friday being. So that's one thing that Jack Webb. That was that actor's name. Was Jack Webb Joe Friday both on the TV series and in the radio show, or was there a different actor? And yeah, that's something I was thinking about too, because you put a lot of work into that. That's one reason why I say this will never be a successful YouTube channel, because I know that you need that in order to make your channel work and get audience to be successful. You need to put in a lot of work, and I don't put in a lot of work. And I'm very impressed when I see people who do, like Cap, because those Gnome lives in the attic guy, Califax, Calypsofax, whatever his name is, Caltrax. You are also doing a great job at those, it seems to me. Um, well, I don't know what decent shit there is to catch up on. Well, you can watch old movies on my channel. Those are pretty decent. Cyrax. There we go. Yeah, I could not remember the guy's name. Okay. Oh, it looked pretty good. And, oh yeah, this is literally all happened simultaneously, both here and on Facebook. And Facebook, this is kind of interesting. On Facebook, there are instantaneous subtitles. I say it, and it shows up, and it's accurate. Wow. Okay. Okay. Jack Webb. Yep. Okay. I need to listen to it again because I didn't recognize him. All right. Well, that is interesting. Well, I guess is what when people start saying they want to understand the left wing and the right wing, I guess we have to first define what is left and right, because I've been called a right wing or an ultra conservative, and I consider myself to be pretty middle of the road. Just because I don't like people going on about my white privilege and shit like that. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. I'm sure Cyrax is absolutely horrible person, from what people are saying. But it all seems like he's just too pathetic to go after. That's my look at it, at least. But then I don't know. I haven't been following him. The only I came across the radar because people whose channel I occasionally watch were covering him a bit, or people whose channel I watch all the time covering him a bit. But I really don't. Wait, what is this? Oh, what is that stack of books behind me? Okay, well, the stack of books behind me is an interesting series of it's a Japanese comic. I guess they're called manga, but I've read the first one. I'm working on the second one, and here's the cover for the third one. Since the other ones are out in the other room, on the dining room sofa table. Basically, the main character or main characters, but the sort of nice guy character, the one I'm supposed to identify with in the book, has mysteriously started turning into this giant sports mascot looking monster. And he doesn't know why, doesn't know what triggers it, just he turns into this creature. And he's trying to keep it a secret. One day he sees a girl that is inside a burning house, and he turns into his monster shape and goes and rescues her. But in the process, she finds out his secret, and then she tries to force him to do things for her. He starts trying to blackmail him. So basically, the main character, as far as I can tell so far, the main female character is a rather vile sociopath, and the hero is kind of on a short leash with her. Plus, his monster form is hollow. He has a zipper in the back. She gets inside him and uses his powers. And so far, I'm not quite sure where the story is going, other than looking at the covers. Seems like there's a lot more different monsters to come. And what seems to be creating these monsters is a mysterious vending machine that in the first book a guy comes out of, and he's talking. He's lost his magic coins. They're scattered throughout the city, and he needs people to help find them. And the sociopathic girl, she has one of these coins, and so again, I'm not quite sure how it all fits together, but it's a horror, part sci-fi, part just damn weird. And yeah, this is the hero's monster form, and there's a girl inside it. Yes, they are comic books, although, adults don't read comic books. I read manga. No, they are comic books, and that's just randomly opened up on the pages. There we have again the main character, it's monster shape, and yeah, he's kind of slimy inside when she goes inside him. But I guess that's also an excuse for the artist to draw the girl character in a bathing suit. And once again, yeah, actually, don't quite know how this comes about because the guy, as far as I can tell, he turns into this shape. So I don't know how the head would come off him, unless his transformation abilities change at some point as the story unfolds. Since this is volume 7, it could also just be one of these covers that are more not metaphoric. Metaphoric's not the quite word. Representative. They're more representative than actually something that happens in the story. But yeah, these are very far from Charlie Brown and Snoopy. Although I guess our hero is a bit Charlie Brownie in that he does seem to be kind of whiny. And I didn't put certain ones up there, but Star Trek manual. Which one? Oh, this one. No, this is a very ancient role-playing game book for the DC Hero system from West End Games. And it's just a game supplement. Don't even remember why I pulled it off the shelf. So, yeah. Let's see. So, I think from context in the first story, oh yes, the sociopathic girl rather, she's looking for her sister, who also is a monster, and who killed their parents. And that's the story she's telling, at least. And she's not very reliable. But this thing here, this showed up when she was talking about how their parents were killed by the monster. So I'm pretty sure that's probably drawing of the evil girl's more evil sister, if her story is to be trusted. But that's volume 8, so I'm nowhere near that. And I can keep going and show you covers until you tell me not to. Let's see. You need to study the time zones. Who is this? Oh, that's directed at Carrie, I guess. But yeah, I mean, again, here we just have some random pages of this book. If I have any complaint with it, it's that it is of the it is oh yes, even by the time I'm at the end of volume 1, and I actually appreciated that because the first book in the series, and I haven't really checked whether they all do this, but unlike some of these collections of comics, they don't give you a complete story. You know, you're reading through the book and it ends on a cliffhanger because they're collecting, okay, we collect 192 pages in this book. We don't really care where it all ends. I like to be able to read a book, whether it's a novel, whether it's a comic book collection, and actually have something resolve itself. That can be, you know, if it's a trilogy, sure, unended threads. If it's a, you know, a stack like this, sure, plenty of unended threads. But I want some sort of resolution. And the first book, actually, it resolved kind of some of the story threads that were introduced. I mean, we get to know our hero Suchi, something like that, and we had to know Claire, who is the villainous or slash co-monster with him, and we get to meet the mysterious guy and the vending machine. But all the initial kind of and they fight their first other monster, and all of those kind of all of those sort of get resolved, except on the last few pages, that's where, you know, the hero and Claire are forming their sort of alliance. But then we get to meet a mysterious third party that is working with the guy from the vending machine, and she might be responsible for Suki's transformation, mysterious transformation, because it's a flashback to 6 months prior. So they give us a lead in to the next volume, but they still wrapped up the story, and I really did appreciate that because, and I don't know whether they all do that. Well, this one looks like it doesn't, but I don't know. But this is the last page of this particular volume. So, yeah, someone is being impolite. Maybe Claire gets her own monster shape. There's other scenes of her flipping people off. No, I have not read all these books. These were gifted to me. I got a big box of them, and I've only read the first 2. Hopefully, this will be engaging enough that I will want to read them all, because the first volume certainly was. There's that skull-faced girl. Maybe that's Claire, since she's blonde. Maybe she gets her own monster form. But who knows? Volume 13 comes out in September. Hopefully I'll get these all read by September, although not likely, because I've got another stack of books I'm trying to get through. There's always more books and more movies and more everything than I can get through. But no, I've not read all those books yet, but I will eventually. I mean, they're comic books. They're not that hard. Especially given that I didn't finish my thought on that one. But it's modern pacing in the sense that not much happens on each page. What you used to get through in 2 pages, you know, in comic books up until the mid 2000s, I'd say, takes them like 4 or 5 pages now, which I'm kind of in two minds about. Kind of like the faster pacing. Maybe one day I'll have to break out some Masamune Shiro and, you know, Ghost in the Shell and things like that. Show how the Japanese comics used to be paced versus the way that many of the pace now. It's like South American comics. I'm afraid I don't know much about what British creators are doing these days, or French creators. But I assume that they've followed the lead of America and Japan. I mean, hell, America is pretty much, it seems like every time I look at a comic book, they're imitating this kind of style. Plus, yeah, you see these are black and white. That's what this artist does. I like his line work. I like the way he inks his drawings. Oh, and his name is Sun Takeda, or Sun Takeda. So yeah, didn't heard of him until those books. Oh, new comments. People have new comments. Oh yeah, I'm a big dork. I make no bones about it. I was a professional nerd. Is it dork? Nerd? I don't know what the proper term is. I was a professional nerd for almost 2 decades. I was a hobby nerd before then. I'm a hobby nerd now, and we should do this. So I had the impression that's one of the issues that my biggest fan, that was one of the things that attracted my biggest fan to me. So yeah, I made no bones about it. Happy nerd, yeah. I've always been a happy nerd. Even before I got old and fat, I was a happy nerd. I was a happy nerd that actually played soccer. I did not win 3 state wrestling championships, though. Nor did I do mixed martial arts fighting. I'm not a constitutional law scholar either. I'm also not a highly successful Wall Street broker who made millions of dollars and yet parks cars for a living. That's also not me. I am just a guy that has been fortunate enough to make a living doing what I loved, and then following a couple of bad career choices and some health issues, had to turn that back into a hobby, and here I am. I have no complaints because I got to do what a lot of people only dream about, and I did it for a living for a number of years, and it was so I got to live my childhood dream, basically. So hey, no complaints, other than my cup is empty. That's a complaint. So, actually, you know what? I have that somewhere, I think, as well. Yes, sir. That's the way to be, Carrie. Or yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's probably true. He likes to claim it, though. It just struck me. he's more pathetic than a fictional character that we're supposed to think is pathetic. It just dawned on me. Al Bundy. If anybody remembers Married with Children, I used to love that show. Al Bundy's greatest moment, which he still talks about, was when he did the winning touchdown in the championship high school football game, and that's kind of like Chili going on about I was a championship wrestler in high school. Except with Al Bundy, there was photographic evidence of him. There was all, people remembered it and could talk about it with him. But with Cholito, all there is his claim about it. So, yeah. Yep, Liz, that was it. That was Al Bundy. I mean, hell, even if, somebody decides that I'm just bragging, it's very easy to find what I've done with my life. It's all over the internet. It's all over. Well, it's not quite as all over it used to be, but yeah, I don't lay claim to things that I haven't done. Kind of like I don't deny things that I've said, or say or pretend I've said things that I haven't. Well, that's because Al should be a hero to us all. He had a house, had a family. He paid for it all. And he started, social justice movements like Yes, Ma'am. Oh, there's something serious going on in the side chat. Oh, hey, I have a game company I can recommend that you invest in, Carrie. Because anyone that invests in game companies, they're guaranteed to take a large fortune and make it a small one every time. So, yes, if you're an heiress, invest. Well, yeah, there is that. Yeah, I'm funny, except that's true. How do you make a large fortune in the publishing industry, particularly in gaming? You start with a. How do you make a small fortune? You start with a large fortune. That's how you do it. God, I almost put Carrie in timeout by mistake there. They need to move those damn buttons to somewhere else. Yeah, sorry for making light. If you had a loss in the family, but the way you phrased it. But yeah, sorry for your loss and congratulations. Oh yeah, that's right. There's also those funds to donate to. We're so helpful. Oh, nice. All right, well, that's good news. Although, just because of who I am, this popped into my head as well. Because when I'm not dealing with completely imaginary stuff, I'm dealing with a different stripe of imaginary stuff, and that's that makes no sense, but that's okay. That's as far as I'm gonna go. Uh, but that's pretty cool. If it's not someone trying to scam you, which I'm sure it's not. I hope it's not. That would suck even more. That would suck all around. Uh, but yeah, you probably, if you're trying to reach the lawyer that sent the email, you're an adult. I should mind my own damn business. Um, Australian banks no longer accept international checks. Really? Do they do wire transfers? I mean, how do companies do business? Can you provide with sort of a broad geographic location of where you live, Surrender Monkey, just so no one accidentally moves in your general vicinity? If you're driving away law firms. Uh, Now I'm fascinated by this Australian banks not accepting international checks. Let's see. Okay. Haven't chased away the football club, I assume. That's the first thing that comes up when I look up Burnley. Uh, Only thing that comes up, look up Burnley. Oh, okay. I just got it. Okay, dawned on me. No, are those race riots or peaceful protests? I still remember people trying to set the building on fire that I worked in as we were in there in the year 2000, and on the news they were telling us all about how it was peaceful protesters. Uh, well, they weren't trying; they did set fire to the building, but uh, But wow, I hope that works out for you, Carrie. That would be fabulous. And I'll send you prospectus to make sure you know how to lose all the money. Let's see. All right. Well, people, I'm still not sure. Well, no one did tell me who got banned from WNN and why. I read between the lines to figure out what the drama was that Surrender Monkey was referring to. So I picked up on that. Don't care. Other than I want to keep my number one fan happy. Do you own the place, or did they just not notice you were under their pool table? Oh, okay. It's kind of like Carrie here, I suppose. But yeah, the comment you made, Surrender, made it sound like that you got banned too. And I was just wondering what you could have done to get yourself banned. Other than being Surrender Monkey, which should not be a bannable offense. Riot didn't notice it. It was awesome. The bar knew I was there. It was fun. So this was so this wasn't this past weekend because it's not the weekend yet, except for me and my weird week. Okay, I get the reference now. I am being so slow, even slower than usual, that I think perhaps it's time to start wrapping this up. If Cap is still here, when is the next Dragnet coming out? Let us know. So we can make a record of it and mark it on our calendars. If anyone has nothing to do at 2 o'clock Pacific, I think it's 2 o'clock Pacific, later today, there's going to be a movie on my channel. I have no idea whether it's good or bad. It's got George Raft in it, so it could be either or somewhere in between. The Man from Cairo, it's a mid-50s film about a World War II vet on vacation in Egypt or Tunisia and somehow gets drawn into the hunt for stolen gold. And people are trying to kill him. So, again, sounds like it should be a mid 1990s. The plot sounds like could as easily have been a mid 1990s Claude, Bruce Willis film or someone like that. But and then Sunday there's another episode of Crossroads. If you're into a little bit of religious stuff, with a priest who's also a judge in a small town full of criminals. So sounds interesting. Okay, so next weekend we'll have another Dragon episode to watch over on Cap's channel. Yeah, Yeah, I have to admit, I was never in a position to think any riots were funny whenever I've been near them. But yeah, I see the point. But if they left the bar alone, those are good rioters. Those are rioters I can appreciate. And okay, yeah. But unless someone else has anything they want to tell the world about, or the couple dozen people that will come and watch this, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. And thank you for coming out. If you feel so inclined, push the like button. I guess there's 3 that have liked it over on Facebook, so thank you for you folks watching over there. I never did see any chats from you, so if you have said stuff, I apologize. I just did not know. And I will see you next time. And let's see, Nick was here at one point. I don't know if he stuck around. So if you are still here, Nick, thank you for coming. Cap, thank you for coming. Whoever I've missed, thank you for coming. Let's see. I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother getting called up. Who's VVCW? I'm trying to troll both W and Encoded. It's fucking D. What does D stand for? I don't talk you young folks language. What did this mean? I don't talk your folks language. It's fucking D as fuck. AF I get. Douchey? Dumb? Demented? Devious? Donuts. I guess if you're male, you could do unspeakable things to donuts. That would fit in that sentence. I don't know who BVCW is, but I'm probably not missing anything. I haven't noticed Nick on WNN, and whenever I try to go watch my fan, I get tired much quicker than I do at WNN. So I actually ordered some donuts when I got groceries today. I'm gonna bring them to the meeting tomorrow morning because I do not need to eat donuts, as everybody can tell. But yeah, so you can find the meeting tomorrow, Liz. By all means, show up and you can have a donut if you're in the area and you know where the meeting is. You did? Tonight or in an email, or I'll go back and look at my emails because I've missed something. Although I've been noticing that some of the emails from YouTube end up in the spam folder. I don't know why, so I'll have to look at that. That is a true statement. Donuts. All right, Friend Monkey, thank you very much. And we're going to wrap this up here because it's now 1 a.m. and I have my meeting tomorrow morning early. So good night, all. Thanks again for coming out. I'm pushing the end button number 1. yeah, I'm gonna go digging for those videos because if you sent me something and I somehow missed it, I need to go dig it out. Because, but yeah, good night all. See you next time. Thanks again for coming.